All right, everybody, let's get right on into it. What's going on, chat? Settle on in here for another special Harmonic Pattern podcast. And let's talk about what's to come here. Get into it. Thanks, everybody. I think we're looking good. Volume's good. Bitcoin on the 4 hour looking like this. We're just still digesting 111 and had a couple other things move, but I just think this is where we're going to resolve it. And if it's this week or next week, 111 is a bigger story about the daily level, okay, and just maintaining this uptrend that we started. Oh, I mean, for the year, absolutely, but just a nominal pullback. Hold on, let me get my chart set up. What's going on with you guys? Let me know what you want to look at today early. We're going to start with crypto. I'll get into the other markets. NASDAQ not doing much today. Up 20. We were down 40 or 50. And, just kind of building our way out of this retracement. I don't know. Doesn't look like we're going to get much of a correction. 10 days in almost for September. Thank you. And wait and see, I think a lot of people are just kind of guessing. Great to see it. What's up? Everybody. Great to see you. Yeah, listen, what are we doing here? Get over here. Get over to harmonictrader.com. Get your 2-week trial to HPC for TradingView. That's the place to start. We do have it for Ninja and Ninja for the futures or Sierra charts. Great. MetaTrader's got everything. And then if you want the Cadillac version, that would be the e-signal with all the bells and whistles, but their data is like $150 a month. Amazing platform though. Amazing if you can afford it. The data, that is. I mean, TradingView is the best solution, everybody. So again, just get on over. Also, just get over to harmonictrader.com. For the new folks, keep getting new inquiries. Yes, it's all free. Just sign up and start there. Please get the free access as a basic member and then learn the framework and, get the trial to the software. You log in. What I'm going to recommend, especially for new folks, you go to the basic members page that's here, and the book to look at, just peruse. I know people don't read anymore, but just click on volume 3, and you're going to have like lots of easy, almost like a picture book. I mean, there's a lot of my ranting here, but look at the illustrations. Just kind of, there you go. Get yourself accustomed to stuff like, if I can give you illustrations. Yeah, just understanding the framework, measurements, what makes a pattern, what's some of the theory behind it, stuff like that. That's volume 3. That's the one you want to dive into first. Great. And all the software. Oh, also Discord. Get on the Discord. So if you have any questions, you can DM me over there. Watch out for the scammers. Yeah, I don't know. I think we resolved the one on Facebook. I got that thing removed, but I'm never going to solicit. Everything I do here is free. And then subscribe. That is the best recommendation. Get the 2-week primer with the software. Dig into all these free resources. Then subscribe. And if anybody approaches you or DMs you on any social media in my name and asks for money, please ignore them. If not, just send me a screenshot of the profile. So I'll try to do my best to take a look at that. Right now, Bitcoin, okay, 111. That's what we've been dealing with all along, and we're still, just what I wanted to show you a couple minutes ago is just we're in this channel, okay? That channel continues. That channel from the low off of April, not much else has changed. And I would just be looking at 111 right now. Yep. The other interesting thing I did want to bring up though is ETH Bitcoin, where that's probably something we need to monitor. That got above zero point zero 0.04 and ran into, look at the pattern here. And I find that really interesting that on the daily, just in the past 2 weeks or so, we generated this daily bearish crab that suggests probably a pause. So if you're looking for Ethereum to run against Bitcoin, it's probably not ready. I would take this down either to T1 or next HSI, and we're getting there, but this explains why we're not really yet mooning. You want this Ethereum Bitcoin pair to do something like of the following: give us that retracement now, and then 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, send it for the bigger move. Great to see everybody. What's up, Stara? Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing great. Grifflet, yes, it's volume 3 is the one you want to dive into. Um, what's up, Vegas? Yeah, people don't read. They do not read. Do they read? Do they read in the corporate world? I don't. I think reading. Here's the funny part, okay? And you guys tell me if I'm too old-fashioned, but um, my son he's at school. He's at a private school, and we're checking out his upper school. And the upper school does not have a library, not a single book in the library. And I thought that was really strange. They have a room that's called a library, but it has no books. Tell me if I'm crazy, if that's a thing, if I should be worrying about that or not. Because even in today's world, there should be books, right? That's my 2 cents, but I'm from long ago. I'm from last century. Yeah, and thanks for all the birthday wishes yesterday. Appreciate you guys a lot. Yeah, it's getting up there. But appreciate that. You guys are great. So let's get on with it. Let's talk about what we can really glean from this whole deal. What about Bitcoin dominance? Like this? 58%. Boy, that's kind of falling off a cliff. Yet, look at the shark. These are great markets to look at because they kind of give you a secondary peek into potential areas that maybe otherwise you wouldn't be seeing that. I don't know. Uh, Maybe we get down to like 56%. It explains why we're pausing for now down here. But those are two. ETH, Bitcoin dominance. I think it's good to look at those. Essentially, what everyone wants to see is they want to see, Ethereum rip against Bitcoin so the rest of the crypto goes. But this is pretty interesting too. The Bitcoin dominance has fallen off quite a bit. And so 58%, let's look at that number because that could actually give us something where Bitcoin starts to reactivate. And I'm definitely of the opinion this is still a Bitcoin cycle no matter what. Claire says books are important. I think so. I think the real books are important for sure. All right, I'm on my second, maybe third cup of coffee here and just kicking in. So let's try to go till, I don't know, maybe two. Go for the hour. You guys let me know what you want to look at. Let me just kind of shoot across the big ones. Ethereum. I'll let you guys know when I do something on Ethereum. And I mean take a sizable position. I have a little of Ethereum. I don't have a lot of Ethereum. I probably don't have enough to make the run if that's what we're going to do. And I'll look at it. What I really want to look at, and we talked about this last time, is this big crab pattern where 40.69 to 47. That's the obvious, obvious range here. And I suspect with Ethereum, okay, so if you're like me and you're looking to grab some, don't FOMO. But let's look for a retest of that 40.62. That's like 200 lower. It would be a check back of that HSI, and then we'll wait and see. Some kind of counter signal or possibly a dot, but we're still lower, still pulling back on this. Yes, the ideal move would be do a type 1 there to 34.90, 34.89, and then make something happen. So, that's one. The other one, XRP, guys, it's really about a 4-hour time frame. And I think that's the story here. You go in the 4-hour. It's kind of getting like it was earlier in the year, where you just go sideways like you did down here from March all the way to July. Then you did another segment. So here we are, a couple of patterns. 270 really seems to be our immediate support and target that, where still range bound. 310 on the top side should contain this for now. Clearly, yeah. I think XRP and a lot of these are more about, are we going to do this kind of continued moon phase? It's a strong chart. Definitely building here. So, XRP is there. Pretty good spot. Just track it on the 4-hour. And the 4-hour right now, you do have some bearish structure confirmation all at 3. So not ready to roll. Just not ready to rock and roll is probably a better way to say it. And if we get back to 280 again, maybe take another look for that to be a buy or a tertiary retest. So you have a couple of things, 1 and 2. There's a crab, comes up, back for the 2, and even the bat pattern did type 1, type 2. So it's all here. Sometimes it can be confusing, and I'll just, point to something that maybe will help ease it, kind of clarify what you're looking for. When the software prints a T2, you're looking for a dot and a dot. At least one dot and HSI. And that confirmed the 280 level for the prior pattern, and then you had this T2 as well, retesting prior support. So that whole area 273 to 280 is pretty big, and we're right back with a bat. It's just ping-ponging levels to levels. But this gives us something where go dot to dot. That's the other thing we really got into last time of, all right, I'm bullish on XRP, but certainly I'm going to respect the 4-hour double dot as a digestion zone, retrace zone, back 290, maybe 282. And, again, the standard way is get the pattern completion, project it out 30 bars so you have some clue. That takes you to like the 14th of September. So a lot going on there. And for right now, just in a retrace. Still long, staying long. Maybe probably add more to this one too. And wait and see. Yep. What do I think about Link? I think Link is like, it's just a matter of what's the next retrace. What's the next dot on Link? I think Link is one of these where even if you get it wrong, I think eventually you'll get your day. And it's in that top tier crypto. But right now I'm still waiting for 19, guys. It's, 19 is this. It's the T1 on the bat taking its time. Everything there was 24.54. Not too much of a big deal. Coming off again, target one's ideal here. These are the kind of things where how do you know? Well, just track amplified. Are we breaking under the 50? Are we able to kind of continue through the 50? It's getting challenged. But that's pretty much the constraint you want to see. At least the current 50 level trying to poke up. But that's, really the first time to even think about it. I would love to see 19 bucks. Come back, give me a T1 at 19, and then we go. So that's, let that happen. We still have time. We're still looking for that retrace to set us up. And I still say the preferred harmonic opportunity is let the bearish pattern be kind of the guide for where to get into for the next leg higher, because reaction down to T1 always ideal. And then 1914 in that vicinity, 19 bucks should be support for the return move that takes it back to 25, or maybe even hop level close to 29. Setting up. We're getting close, guys. There's no doubt. We're getting, here we are, September 9th, getting closer and closer to finishing this retracement and setting up for what should be an eventful October, November. And we'll see beyond that. Yeah, a couple more. Great to see you guys. What's up, Greg? What's up, Bull? Miguelito wants to look at CRV. CRV, coffee is life. For sure. Who said that? Orhan, I agree. All depends on what kind of coffee. It's got to be good coffee. It can't be shit coffee. Got to be good. CRV, just another type 1. That's all. I mean, the type 2, I don't know if we're going to get that. Again, you're this far along. This one, first of all, is it trending? Yeah, I'd say it is. We can draw an uptrend, but it's got to hold this. That has to be the path forward no matter what. So you had the alternate bat, and the target one at 80 cents is still okay. Do we have anything else down here? Not yet. Not yet. I would look at it like this. CRV, at 115 tagged it, come all the way down. Maybe we go to 62 and then turn. We don't have anything there quite yet to anticipate, something like this, where you're here and then you start the return move. That's not happening yet, but I keep my eye on it. It kind of reminds me of like SUI, and I think Ondo is the other one where let's take a quick look at Ondo. Yeah, Ondo is pretty interesting because of this has broken the downtrend, and you're sitting right here at, oversold confirmation, which is like 93. The biggest takeaway though for this crypto, I have to say, at least you're no longer under the constraint of the downtrend. I mean, that's an official breakout. Are you going to get more? Got to wait and see. Got to wait and see. Man, it's raining again. I think Miami's going to float away. We have so much rain the last month. But hopefully we'll stay online this time. Yeah. Couple others. Yeah, I can look at I don't know what bio is. SXT. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll look at one of those. How about we just look at, I don't even know what you're saying this is brand new. Bio, USD, it's on Binance. That's on Coinbase. That is brand new. Shiny new. Damn, look at that. Really? 5 cents to 30 and now back down. 886 though. You guys know I'm going to say that. You know I'm going to say maybe we got to start looking at these Coinbase IPOs because they'll come out and they will run. But, there's the mania phase. Where is the full 886 retrace? It's 14, guys. If you are ever fortunate enough to be into something like that and it goes crazy parabolic, like 3, 5x in a rather short period of time, I just think you have to weigh the probabilities of that continuing versus coming all the way back for a full reset like that did. I'd say 8 cents. There's nothing else I can offer you right now on any of that. Yep. Um, yeah, we can look at SUI. Sure. I'll get to those stocks in a minute. SUI is like that. It's still just kind of stuck. But SUI is $3. Shark to 50. Trying to get there. Got almost 308. Almost target 2. Was target 1. Like that. So can we get a shark to 50? Bang to at least 308. I'm looking. That's supposed to be one that's, gonna run. It's trending. It's not anywhere close to the all-time lows. So I think just keep an eye on it. Some of these are very close. No doubt. Some of these are very close. What was that other one? Oh, Litecoin. Yeah. It's been a while on Litecoin. I mean, is Litecoin going to see its prophecy fulfilled of being that little brother to Bitcoin and being able to transact all the payments a lot faster? You got to see. But right now, 106.98 is target 1. You don't have any confirmation, but this is a fair assessment of the reaction. But it's basically back at or just under 106. I need this to be oversold. It's not there yet. No oversold yet. It got close, but not there yet. It's a nice pattern. I mean, nice patterns back to back. Litecoins like this, though, just kind of stuck. Oh, that was nice on the weekly, too. 132 was the 886. And what was it? Did that hit already? Yeah, we did. 106.5. 106.98. I'll keep an eye on that one. It'd be great to get it back to 107 or 108. It's now 112. Keep an eye open that, and I would wait. Give me a dot. That'll tell me how low it goes. No dot there. Last dot was bearish. Resistance clearly 131. Yeah. Couple more in this area, this space. Algo for John. What's up, John? Algo Rand. So Algo Rand's getting talked up a lot, like H bar and CRO. What's here? A bat on the daily, but higher level HSI, so it's really in this zone that is like 22 cents. Should not break down. It's either 22 or it's like 15. So let this not only resolve itself in terms of the consolidation, but look, if it's really going to go, amplified RSI will extend over the midline and continue aggressively. So not yet. I mean, I think it just It's close. I'd rather try to play that breakout move than have this just try to assume that this is going to go back up to 50. It clearly got rejected at the 50 recently. Yeah. Thoughts on Solana? Yeah, Solana is this. And Solana's always been about 225. Solana trying to get up there on the weekly to fulfill this type 2. Now there. And I drew out this other pattern that even suggests maybe this goes higher in that zone. And that 886 level would be like 270. We'll know when we get to 227, but we're 215 currently, making a really good progress up there, and then we'll see if that's going to blow through. Like a monthly chart looks like that. There you go. And so a monthly chart for Solana is either basically 113, which is like right there, and almost clipped it perfectly, up to 1618. Maybe take off the date. There you go. But that's not a crazy assumption at all. I just think, guys, we're not there yet. We're not. We will moon, we will break out, and it'll be 2 or 3 months, and then it'll be over. It'll start up fast, it will continue fast, it will end fast, end quickly. A couple more. Yeah, AVAX is like this, just floating. 25. That's monthly. I want weekly. Weekly is maybe more constructive down there at 25 with that last HSI that was $20. And if you're in this or looking to get into AVAX, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, AVAX, it's going to come back like it did last time. No, I'm going to say go measured move, go dot to dot, dot line to dot line, if you even get it. But that's like 19 and change, and that's 56. Big difference. Yeah. A couple more. Render for Kilroy. As much as I like the pattern, it's pretty much a dud. How long have we waited for these signals to give us something? I really, not a lot. There you go. 372. I'd love to see that XA get tapped at 275 one more time. That's a fairly ideal situation, though. Just needs time. Where's that? That's 316. The low's 275. I would favor 275 maybe. Can we get it down there? What does the double dot signify? The double dot it's related to 2 HSI signals. So each dot will have each HSI arrow. If we check back and retest it and roll over, we'll get a dot. Now, the tail of 2 dots. Here are 2 dots, one, and then underneath that was another HSI, but the second dot came in, so that's probably the better of the two, and gives you, that was the weekly signal. Now, double dot, yeah, I'd like to think it's stronger, but you still need to have the proper action. Like here's a double dot from back in 2024, and it was just a pause. So I'm going to be doing an update on those kind of combination of signals very soon for this platform. But there you go. I mean, render just flatlining here. Maybe someday it'll have its day. Again, still in an uptrend. You're still looking for target one at $7. So that doesn't change. A couple others. Let's see here. Others index. We talked about that last time. I won't spend too much on it. Other than it is building. We'll get there. I just expect more 10 or 20% corrections first. We're what, 312 currently? 5% correction down gets you to 300 billion or so, or yeah, just something, nothing too big. Even retesting that zone, what's like 180? No, it's not going to happen. That's a weekly. We're back to back. We're already done with that. What's a 4-hour look like? There you go. Yeah, 4 hours pretty good. Continues. But right now, little overhead resistance. The big move is obviously above 330 billion. And then things should take off. Ethereum, Solana, everything, Bitcoin will move too, but just not as aggressively, which everyone's waiting for the rest of the market to move. Yeah, we probably do need that trigger, that dot. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. Lino wants to look at the graph. Is this another one? I mean, is this ever going to have a day here? Daily. Like that. No pattern, no nothing. Weeklies like this. Not even a dot. Graph is down here 9 cents, 10 cents, sometimes 11, but that's about it. I really can't offer anything off of here, even if that does moon. It's not moving. I would rather see development, buy on a retracement for a larger push. Agree. Totally agree with that. Trump's WLFI. Okay, let's World Liberty Financial whatever. Let me get a better one than that. There you go. Hourly. There you go. Just back down. WLFI, that's the Trump thing. Again, probably the takeaway is this. Just a simple fact. Massive up and down, another up, and then swing it down. Games are being played. For sure. But that's still how most of everything should go. I would prefer a T2. Now there's the T2. I would prefer that happen before yellow dots. Yep, that's for right now. You got to see. Pump token. All right. Is that it? Pump USD? I guess so. There's the 4-hour. Pump fun. I don't. That's on Coinbase too, huh? Yeah, I'm not I'm not too crazy about it because the shark, big pattern there. But maybe it's good for a type 1. I just don't have any confirmation here. I would think of it like this. Let it do its thing. It had its big mania run. For now, can we cool it off? Something like that. And then really go again. Yeah, I think that's kind of the play there. Yep. Sure. What's Mavia? Don't know. I've never heard of that one. Mavia M. AVIA. Let's take a look. Oh, if it's not on. Huh. Not on XC. Well, I'll look at these, but something like this, I immediately see it needs a whole bunch of time. What about H bar, guys? A lot of talk around H bar actually being something able to hold up these recent gains from what was that? That was like 4 down to $1.29. Yeah, 4 to $1.29 there. Um, Hold up, 40. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for H bar because it's kind of in that group. The weekly here was our last retest. It's still range bound. I mean, we need to see some things kind of come together to get the whole cycle moving. I think it's Ethereum, Bitcoin. I think it's continued Bitcoin dominance to fade out, and some of these others to really get going. We didn't even show you Solana. Solana with the weekly patterns at 227. You're almost there, but it's higher. Been an ideal type 1, type 2. We talked about this last time. It's probably up here 227, maybe as high as 286, but it's coming. And that's what you want to see. You want to see stuff like this in the larger uh, market caps start to make progress back. Toro is saying Doge is curling up or down. I'll tell you, kind of curling up. HSI, yeah, curling up to 50. It's a good comment, my friend. It's like this. What he's saying is that HSI got oversold, got above 50. All right, it came back, but it's holding at a higher low. And then a higher low, that's potential real strength for that move on Doge. It would have to go. Literally no red bars allowed. And you're kind of looking for that advance up to like 30-ish. But all right, and definitely constructive chart. You got it. Thank you. Thank you. Could I mention what other aspects other than geometry and level should be taken into account when choosing particularly one to look at? You mean in terms of crypto? I mean, for crypto, I think it's just market cap. You want top 10, 20, 30 market cap. And that should be the majority of what you do. I mean, others index, we looked at that last time. And that takes out Bitcoin, Ethereum. This too had some patterns here. 311, been stuck there for most of the day. But, crab pattern down 1. And then the 2 actually failed it, but it still managed to come back and retrace perfectly XA to kind of set up the whole thing. That's daily. That's weekly. Here's daily. So 315, literally where you are right now, should be, and a big should, because if Bitcoin comes on strong, then you know what'll happen to these. But I would say temporary top at this level would be even better if we had like a counter HSI. Yep. The total, well, with Ethereum, Bitcoin, I mean, that's the others. Total doesn't really change much. And I said that would do something like, XABCD last time. And that the general idea that this is supposed to be a support range and get you to all-time new highs no matter what, um, it's pretty fair. But just from where? I think we could have these checkbacks like 1 and 2 in the zone. It's kind of like the other situation, just where you're here with a counter HSI and it's checking back, stalling. It's not going down. If anything, seems to be building and building. I just think this is part of the high level action that's going on. We're had a great summer run. You're not tanking. Maybe we tank in a few weeks, but right now, when you see stuff like this, that's about as good as it can get. And on their counter, the dots would come. They would come in a spot where you're not really, focused unless you had the line drawn out or really focused on that level. That's what it is. So total, at least in the short term, looks good. You're sitting above this zone in 392. Probably needs to get hit now again. Yeah. Pepe's asking, is it constructive consolidation above XA of a bearish pattern? Yeah. Well, if you have a counter HSI signal, yeah, even like this daily total market cap is like this. There you are, counter HSI sends it for a reaction. And then what happens? It runs into another confirmation dot, so right back down. But it can be helpful to define ranges, especially day trading. What's the other one? There was one other one I want to look at. Yeah, I'll probably come back to that. Did I see Octo? Yeah, a couple of them popped off today, right? Octo is like this. And isn't this like a GME type of deal? What was it? I thought it was OKTO. Hold on. Oh, here. OKTO. Nope. OCTO, 8Co Holdings. Yeah, it did this. It was 80 up in the pre-market on the open. Now it's 36. There's nothing you can do with that. I mean, it's interesting to look at for sure. But when you get into a situation like that and you go from, like I said, 15 up to 80, at what point are you happy with the profit to get out? 36, 65, something like that. Because I would expect this to retest $18 and then go up. And that's going to take some time. But there are a lot of interesting stories with AI deals. Microsoft signed that deal with Nebis this morning or yesterday, and that stock's up. NBIS. And this is what I'm saying, low floaters, they start to go and they show themselves. Yeah, this is it. I mean, look at this chart. Right off the hop. A year ago, 24, that was 15 billion, and then today, what are you up to? 97, almost 100 billion. So people really do win. For now, check it out. The daily time frame, I think this pushes higher because of this phenomenon. We basically completed the pattern right there, went sideways. That let off enough steam to where HSI, marking that bar where it broke out, goes on through and just keeps on going. Keep an eye on that. I like that. I like it also because, look, the weekly pattern setting up for a nice continuation above some bearishness. Yeah, you got to wait for it. Pepe's asking, the only reason he asks if there's a constructive consolidation is because of, what was that? Because of a shark, a daily shark at 93K. Maybe. I'll get back to that in a second. But I keep coming into the whole mindset of what I should be thinking and saying, maybe trade less. Maybe just wait, be patient for buy opportunities. Super ideal. And hold them. Again, everyone's preference is different, but I do think things are working in a major way in your best markets where they go higher. No doubt. I've been saying this for a while. I do think markets go to new highs. They have to get through this current digestion phase, but once they do, look out. A lot going on there. I mean, a lot. What is the other one? CYH, Community Health. What's up, Leo? Yes, I knew that one. CYH. That's really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. That's a perfect type too. Thank you very much. Hey, this makes this stream easy. Beautiful bat and shark. It's actually a type 2. Yeah, well, type 2 there with like another 1 and 2 to really pinpoint the entry of where we should be looking at this. Yeah, 98, 294. Couple more. LCX. LCX. What is that one? What is that? I don't know what else. LCX is LCX, I guess. Weekly oversold. That's a nice chart. No pattern, but certainly gives us an area to be looking against the green line or just under the green line. The green line exactly is yeah, 11.7. Let me see the monthly here. Yeah, not much. Just not much going on there. Not yet, at least. A couple more. For the bullish shark, you guys are all about the shark today on Bitcoin, right? I think the shark you guys are referring to Here, I'll give you my version. Yeah, on Bitcoin. I know some of you are saying go down to 110, whatever. I'm gonna. That's probably worst case. Go from that low, and then XABC, and then D's got to be. It can't be more than 1618. That's gonna be the problem here. Get down to like, yeah, 886, 1902, something like that. But that would be a maximum, guys. We'll know in another day or two. Just wait on that. One or two more crypto. Stronghold. Yeah, Stronghold did the pullback and is now ready. Asking about Stronghold. Remember this? Crab and a 5-0 and now a dot. I mean, 195. That was it. You're looking for the return move. That's a smaller, it's definitely a smaller one. Yep, still long. And looking for that kind of return phase. It's better than most. It's off the lows. It's made a lot of progress. You know, all the other ones that are kind of like not doing and not even trending, pretty much probably ignore. But this has got a nice uptrend to it. Like this. There. Hold it. All right, like that. Keep an eye on that one. I think that is going to be a high flyer. 5 or 6 cents pretty easily. Could get to 10. Let's see. If we get really hot. Hype is another strong crypto. Yeah, I saw news on that. Hyperliquid. Wow, it was up at 52. I was just looking at that the other day. It was in the 40s. Hold on. Yeah, that's a nice spot. Nice spot. Um, let's segue over. Yeah, look at some stocks. Look, Nasdaq right now, kind of rolling over a little bit. Nasdaq's like this. Here you go. The thing I'm looking for on Nasdaq, which was from last week, is going to be whether or not we check back. Are we going to test that dot? Or just, keep going? Trying to fail the daily pattern already, and the counter dots, like, it's pretty much the last thing we want to see. It's working so far. Look, dot, higher. Although it's red, it was higher. Another higher, another higher. One moment. Yeah. I mean, the worst case scenario, possibly, let's say we come back and they throw it down against this HSI. Retest it, then go. I mean, that would be the obvious preferred scenario here. I'm going to have to just be patient. Today's not a huge day. Yesterday we had a couple bigger moves. Today we're kind of stuck in a, I don't know, 200-point range. Something like that. Couple others. What's you? Oh, isn't that the bear? Hold on. Energy fuels. Nice chart. And maybe they deserve, on a one-by-one cases, more attention. That's a massive Gartley. Now clearing prior resist. All right, let's get it on the radar. I don't like the HSI up here. We're like 2 red bars away from another dot. Yeah, a couple more. UU, we just covered that. CRV stock. I know they were making a recovery. CRV is like this. Hold it. Here you go. Where is it? There's Coinbase. Interesting. I think this is still building. But I'd say last confirmation's like 58. You're now 77. Let that come to you, please. Even if you're willing to take the drawdown, just let it get to your entry. Define the entry. Usually a yellow dot within some pattern framework, and then look for corresponding price action. Like there's the check back, green bar and go. Couple more. CG wants to look at, well, we did, yeah, Hive, Hut, and Bitfarm. Here's Hive. We didn't look at that last time. Hive Digital Technologies, $2. Anything looking left on this? I mean, that's a weekly. Huh. Hold on, let me check 30-second. 30-second looks a lot better. Come back to that one too. Hive is interesting. I mean, if you're looking for a low cap play that runs with crypto, yeah, these are definitely the type of plays you want to be into. But they better have patterns. They better have a pretty clear argument of why to get in on it. Yeah. A couple other ones. Uranium is gone. Hold on. Do I get a futures? Let's see. No, I can't really get the futures here. Hold on. No. Hold up. Okay. Yeah, look at Broadcom. Was up at 350 this morning. I've been talking about that forever. It's probably it for now. Let it do a pause and then keep going later in the year. Maybe after early October. I think so. Let's keep it rolling with Wayne wants to look at SFIX. Wouldn't that be Stitch Fix? Yes, it is. Look at this. $5, $7 making a move. That's interesting. Again, lots of patterns. Hop level was 12. I would say, yeah, give that time. Let that base out of there. It's close. It's definitely close and definitely building out a real nice kind of U-shaped bottom to get ready to go. Justin, what's up? Grab. Grab is $5. Yeah, it got close, but that was only for a short while. Yeah, can we get that back to 346 and then really go? I'll monitor this because a lot like crypto influencers and people right now who think they're going to be able to get away with the crypto, it's not a chance. Not a chance. They're going to be really, if you're not in the system by next year, you will be. For grab, guys, this is, I would normally say look at this high level here as a buy opportunity. We scroll back. Oh, I got too many of these on there. We had a number of harmonic patterns, but this one, here we go. All the way down. That was critical. That low here, and this is another continuation. I'll look at that. I mean, we break out. This would be another potential low floater that could really catch a bid. Them and Uber and a couple other just getting thrown money to build stuff out like that. Nice one. Just got to wait. And a couple others. URA. What about UEC? I mean, this is URA. United Rail. United Rail, right? Is that what you were talking about? Let me take a look. Yeah, that should be it. I'll have to come back. Yep. YFI, I haven't looked at that either. Is that waking up? Because it's pretty much how these all are going to go. Hold on, Wi-Fi tether. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's going nuts. No. Look, remember what I said, Tron having this amazing uptrend. There's some patterns there, but again, that's more of the kind of situation you want to be jumping in on to ride it all the way. Right now, probably some resistance on Tron. Yeah. What's up, Rooster? ASML, I think ASML is ready to rock. It's just a matter of time. This whole area under 800 the real number is 626, but this thing reaches for easily 844. That's target 1, shark to 50. And then if it does, I've got some other ideas of how to handle this, but I think for right now, this is in a good spot. Keep an eye on that one. Yep, like there. Couple more. You guys are loaded today. CORZ for Mr. G. CORZ. Huh. Core Scientific. Yeah, another impressive weekly chart. Not doing crazy things just yet, but I would say this amplified's waiting to be retested at 16. I've never really looked at this before. I have to dig deep, but this looks like a sell. And that's the daily time frame. When it comes to geometry and matrix of the TradingView market, it is worth it to remember that you have a choice. For example, extended versus regular trading hours, BDH set. Check out if you has it. What he's talking about is here. So sometimes the patterns aren't going to show up. And if not, then just check this button there. It should be, hold on, let me bring it out. It should say BEDJ. I'll come back to that. But holding the green line for now, 1353, that's pretty impressive. I think it's just taking its time. No worries. A few more, sure. Yeah, we can look at Conoco. Yep, I'll look at, we looked at ASML. Just wait for that thing to trigger. And here's the other one. COP. I think ConocoPhillips. Just at what price? I don't think we're gonna have a reaction off of these big bearish numbers that I've talked about in the past. You know, ConocoPhillips just holding up here in impressive fashion. 92 is definitely the 92.89 current level for that for Conoco. And then there's a daily. Come on. 87.60-ish. Yeah, that's fairly significant. I like that. Look. The daily has a double dot scenario, but here and there, I look at that. We're looking for this retrace to end soon. Yep. ADJ doesn't change anything. Are you sure? Did you hit the right button? And have the right time frame? I mean, 4-hour New York. And then try the ADJ button. Yep. A couple more. Yeah, Circle, after the big IPO, came all the way back down. Some of these others have gone nuts. They go up and come right back down. Circle's another one where that was almost 200, I think, or 300. Jeez. And now we're 115. I think you guys know what I'm going to say, right? 886. If anything, this is perfect bat dimensions. X, A, B, C, and D to come in. Like right, come on. Right there. 90? Maybe. And that would be the full reset for the IPO and then go again. That makes sense, yep. Just wait. You got to be patient. Hey, if we don't get it, that's okay too. But how many times have we seen these? You get the mania stage when it comes out for the IPO. It goes absolutely nuts and then comes back for the 886. And then we go again. And I think that's what's happening here. So still sliding. Still sliding down. Just give it time. Yeah. I mean, there's been a few. Trump's got his thing coming out. Whatever that is. America Crypto or something. You know, and I expect the same thing. Pop up. Come on back down and roll down again. Even things like the BMNR, this Bitmine, Ethereum, I guess Ethereum treasury play. That's what we're doing now. I am starting to warm back up to this because we had a dot maybe a month or a little more than a month ago. Over here, we had to push up, and we come back, and there's another retest dot, 42-ish. So, yep, getting there. Bitfarms up 25% today. Wasn't that at like $1? Yeah, it was. Remember that? It hit target 1. Pretty nice. Hold on one second. There's been a few of those, right? Hive. And didn't we say we should maybe start dipping our toes into this stuff? I mean, they scraped the bottom if they weren't going out of business, and they turn around now. That's probably something to look at. Yeah. SBET, yeah, and all the Maras and the Clean Sparks. There's SBET, $16. And what was it? It's here. 4-hour time frame. But another shot. But don't be surprised if it goes 16 to 20 and then rolls over. It's coming back. But this too. I mean, this went crazy on the announcement. Which there is 2. Here is 120. I don't care. 2 to 100. You're done. 2 to 100 on anything. You're done. But another couple dots. This is in a good spot. I will say this, stuff like Coinbase, absolutely lagging, not doing a lot, but now trying to put in like a 4-hour dot, like 295-ish. Yeah, there's a daily dot. Daily HSI, check back, dot. The only thing you really need is to get that thing out like this. Hold on. Break the downtrend. Like that. I'd say it's close. I'd say it's close. Keep an eye on that one. A couple more. UEC, we looked at that several times in the last year, and that's just making new highs. That's amazing. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on. One second. Okay. UEC was one we talked about way back beginning of the year, down here at 460. And I still say this thing has got a nice weekly bend to it, but not here, not at 12. I mean, 12's over to done. But this happens. I'll tell you the place to be looking that's like this is solar. All right, the TAN ETF. Now 41. I would be looking for a major turnaround in this area, in these stocks, very soon. I like the solar sector. I think that's something we can dive deep in on Thursday. But the TAN ETF, I'd be fine if you bought it right here at the market. 41.95, 42-ish. You got a couple of things, but this isn't far away from busting out above that 45 level to go to target 1. We talked about these individual issues like Solar Edge down almost 4 today, but that's one I'm looking at because it's a potential major recovery play. Here you go. Gartley off the bottom, and again, I think we looked at this last week. Let it come back in and then trigger on the next daily dot. First Solar's probably the chief of the group. Made the breakout. We're at 200. We will get something on the retest. So, I mean, Solar, keep that in the back of your mind. What else? I got to say, Google's ready to go to 300, guys. I know it sounds crazy, but it has absolutely annihilated with this massive breakout. And the long-term trend, this is... Geez, Google's going much, much higher. I mean, much higher. We can do this. All right, remember off the 2022... 2023-ish, and there's 1618. It was kind of ideal, 1618, and then what was that? It was like 45, almost 50%, and then back up again. I mean, that's one way, and that's like 260, but the bigger projections here put us like this, 2618, 256, and again, we're going parabolic. 320, guys. I already know that. So and what you want to do is be on like an hourly and just hit every HSI. Here was the last one yesterday or this morning. I mean, Google is now ready to catch up on all the other Mag 7 that it lagged for the last 2 years. That's great. End phase in that Solar group, yeah. End phase is 37, but look, long-term charts like this, it was a devastation, all-time retrace. Remember this? And you know what? Thank you for bringing this up. We're starting to react off of that T1. It's only at 37. We'll focus on this. I think this is where I want to kind of hang up for now, because I want to come back to a lot of these others, specialty plays. They will be more set up, but literally a bunch of these in the next week are going to put in their September lows. And then we go. And also semis, we've seen some explosive moves in semiconductors. There's things really starting to pop off. We're starting to see it in crypto. Starting to see it a lot of low floaters. And then you get stuff like this. I think we can start looking down in these levels. Yeah, like end phase. If you're looking at something like end phase and like me, you love the pattern. But how do we know where it's really going to accelerate? Give it another week or two of development to where we get like that. And we start to go. I mean, even like the quantum stocks that we've talked about, they're setting up in position. There's a lot of things that are really setting up right now. And that's what we need to focus on this week. So I'm going to just clip it here. We'll come back on Thursday. All right. I'll have a deeper program then. But you guys have any questions, you get over to me at harmonictrader.com. You get set up with the software. Again, get over to harmonictrader.com. Basic membership here. All right. Everything else, come on back on Thursday. Thank you. And we'll catch you then. I do need to get out of here today a little early. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. As always, go get them. We'll catch you next time.